What is going on, traders? In this video, I will be covering an updated silver bullet strategy, basically following up on the last silver bullet video that I did, which you guys seem to really love. This video will be a complete update of that. I will be releasing what I think, in my experience, is going to be the strongest model to use in the silver bullet session. I will be giving you some examples and I will be teaching you exactly how you can capitalize on that. Now, of course, little disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is all for educational purposes. You can see the whole disclaimer in the video description. Let's get right into it. So the first thing I actually did to avoid some skepticism is I generated a random date. And let me quickly copy and paste the results from that random date generation. That is this. So I went to random.org/calendar-dates, and then right here I generated it. It was picked randomly out of 1046 possible dates. So let me quickly explain what we are going to be looking for. In this strategy, we are going to be using two time frames. We are going to be using the 1 minute and the 15 minute. The first thing we will do is we will look for the draw on liquidity. Basically, the draw on liquidity is going to be you anticipating where price is likely going to be moving next based on the higher time frames and the concept from ICT that we actually know. So a really good example would be we set up relative equal highs, we take out some sell side liquidity, we start moving to the upside. At this point, you will likely think that your draw on liquidity is going to be this. So let's say price is doing something like that. At that point, we are going to be looking for an entry off of an FEG or even a sweep of liquidity, targeting that higher time frame draw on liquidity. That is exactly what we're going to be doing here. So let me give you a couple of examples how I personally approach this. Right now, I'm actually in FX Replay. I'm not affiliated with them, so I will not even leave an affiliate link. You can Google them. All right, so we have actually arrived in the first bid of the silver bullet from the London session. And what we're going to be mapping out is going to be on the 15 minute. Do we see relative equal lows or relative equal highs or something that price is likely drawing to? Now, if I am looking to the left right here, what I can see is that price is traveling up here. And there is no real liquidity to be spotted other than up here, that previous major high from the New York session. So overall, that is going to be my draw on liquidity. And why? Well, if you look back at the drawing that I just drew out, you can see that right here, we actually already swept deep and we are now traversing towards the upside. And that is what I want to be capitalizing on. So what I'm waiting for right now is a sweep on liquidity or a clean reaction to an FEG. So let's see if we get that. All right, so it seems like we do sweep liquidity. We have these relative equal lows right here that we take out, and we also have a mitigation of the fair value gap that we had remaining right here. So this to me is an indication that we could possibly be reversing. So now all that we're waiting for is a fair value gap to form, which we can take a trade off of. We have one right here, and we also have one right here. By the way, let me clearly mark out the silver bullet hours for you. So this is going to be our 3 a.m. and we're going to be able to take trades till 4 a.m., right? That's the first silver bullet session. Now, what I will do is I will actually set an order in this FEG and I will cover the low of the previous fair value gap. And our target is always going to be the low hanging fruit, right? We know that price might be traversing to extremer highs, but we're always going to be aiming for the low hanging fruit, mainly because this is going to give you the highest win rate. And to me, a higher win rate usually means less drawdown, which to me is the most important thing. We are going to be risking 1% per trade and we're going to set a buy limit right here. As you can see, we actually get filled and price is moving upwards. And there we go. We actually make money. And let's see if price afterwards price came down. So exiting at the low hanging fruit right here, the quick liquidity was a really good decision. And we are up 2.5% already. Let's move on to the next silver bullet session. Looking at the next silver bullet session, we can see that our draw on liquidity right here is still intact. So the rules are the same. The higher time frame draw on liquidity has been established. Now all we're waiting for is a sweep of liquidity on the lower time frame here. And as we can see, we had a sweep right here already. So I am assuming that as long as the draw on liquidity is up there, that we will likely respect this level. So this could be where we place our stop loss. We have an FEG right here, but I would like some more confirmation, mainly because we also built up liquidity right here. If we could sweep that and have a decent reaction to that, we could probably take an entry off of an FEG. There we go. Right, so right here is some more imbalance. So let's make a bigger FEG out of that. it seemed like we're respecting that and we are starting to see a decent reaction. There we go. So what I will do right now is I will set a order in this FEG right here, an order long. My stop loss is going to be just below the candle of that FEG. I think this wick right here should do, because if we look at fractal nature, we also swept the low from here. So as long as the buy program is active, we should be good to go. And our target is again going to be the low hanging fruit right here. So we're simply targeting this near pool of liquidity, which is our lower time frame drawn liquidity. Let's place a buy limit, and it seems like this is working out fine. It's ranging, but as long as we are still respecting that extreme FEG that we put in. If we do go lower, I might have to close. Oh, and there we go. So our profit target actually gets hit. And we are now up around 5%. All right, so we have arrived at the next silver bullet session that starts at 2. Let's draw that out real quick with a dotted line. There we go. So this is our time frame that we can trade from 2 till 3. Seems like we actually react to that quite perfectly. We just have to take a look at what is happening right here, because what I am seeing is that this could possibly be a sweep of liquidity for us to push to the downside. Now, we don't have a clear confirmation for that, but overall, I would personally avoid taking trades like this. I choose to actually stay out of this trade. Let's see if it would hit TP, and it seems like it would have. So it's not that I'm not taking it, that you're not allowed to take it. For me, it was just not too high probability. But as you can see, if you would have taken this trade, you could have likely netted around 4 Rs. Let us actually move to the next silver bullet session here. All right, so looking at the chart right here, we have quite a strong sweep of liquidity from those Asian highs that we put in. But right here, we have relative equal lows. And we just had that really clean sweep of liquidity, plus which was also the previous day's high. We just swept that. So now, to me, it would make sense to actually continue to the downside. So what I'm waiting for right now is going to be a sweep of liquidity on the lower end, plus a reaction, and then we can actually enter in an FEG. So right here, this will be the start of our silver bullet session. All right, so here we start to move higher. Let's see if we can create a push to the downside with a fair value gap. We actually do. Personally, I am going to wait till we really break this low for a confirmed market structure shift. And then what we can see right here is that we actually put in a nice fair value gap. And right here, we could take an entry. So let me put a short right there, and I will simply cover this swing high right here. You could, of course, also cover candle number 1, which would give you a bit of a tighter stop loss. But to me, a 2.5 pip stop loss is like the bare minimum. Now, if we look at the low hanging fruit right here, that would be this low. So that is going to be exactly what we will be targeting. And we could even extend it a little because, as you can see, we do have relative equal lows right here. So if it takes this out, it will most likely also take out this low. Right? And this could potentially give us 1.6 R. So return is going to be quite variable. We get filled, and as you can see, super strong momentum to the downside. But then right here, it starts reversing. And what does it start reversing off of this low? On to the next silver bullet session. All right, so let's take a quick peek at the charts right here. What I'm seeing right now is we re-swept basically this high right here, and we took out that liquidity once again. We then started to move down, took out these lows, but really didn't show price slowing down at all. Now we are reacting to this fair value gap. But to me personally, I don't really see a big reason as to why we should be continuing to the upside. So what I'm going to be thinking here is that, because to me personally, and that is something my students also know, to me, liquidity is always going to be stronger than imbalance. So your imbalance is mainly going to be used for entries, and your liquidity is mainly going to be used for targets, right? And so this to me seems to be the drawn liquidity. And this move to the upside, to me, if we look at a lower time frame, this might be more clear. This seems to be a power of 3 formation. We basically have this rangy price action right here. We also sweep the liquidity up here, and now it seems like we are already reacting. Let's also mark out our silver bullet start time. All right, perfect. So we've got that now. So let us wait for a potential sweep and a formation of a fair value gap. And this to me is strong displacement. We sweep this high right here, have a really strong reaction, have an immediate market structure shift. So to me, that would be a potential great entry opportunity. Let us quickly map this out. In this case, because the fair value gap is so massive, what I will do is I will use my Fibonacci tool and quickly mark out that 50% level of the FEG, set my short right there. And as for our target, the low hanging fruit right here is at 2.1R, which to me seems more than reasonable. Try to target the liquidity points that are really nearby and that have not swept before. So let's see if we can get a fill and actually hit our TP or we hit our stop loss. So it seems like we might not be filled here. What I do like is that we induce more liquidity with these relative equal highs. And there we go. That might be a stop out there. Okay, no, this is a really strong move. And there we go. Our position gets filled. And as we can see, I was kind of panicking for nothing because we perfectly respected that fair value gap before pushing to the downside. And now we are up, let's see, 9%, which is absolutely amazing. So let's see if we can catch another trade in the next silver bullet session. So we arrived at the next silver bullet session starting at 2 p.m. But it does seem like we already took out like the drawn liquidity right here, which I was anticipating. We know that the volume is likely died down because we are in the PM session and there is nothing really to target other than the short-term liquidity. So I would say this would be a valid target. So if we do see a sweep of liquidity and a fair value gap, we could target this, but only if the risk to reward is going to be greater than 1.5. Otherwise, I'm not really too interested. So this sure seems to be, it's not a sweep, it's an inducement. So this right here is a sweep of relative equal lows. And here price starts to shoot up. So we also have an FEG, we have a market structure shift. It might not be as picture perfect as you want it to be, but to me, this is still valid. I'd like to place my stop loss nice and safely below this strong sweep, and my target is going to be high right here. So let us see if we actually get filled or not. Okay, so it seems like there is also an FEG right here, but I'm not really, no. So our target gets hit before we actually get filled. That's a no trade. Let's go to the next silver bullet session. All right, so we have arrived at the London kill zone right here, the London silver bullet kill zone. Let's see what we have on the higher time frames. So on the higher time frames, I immediately see that we have liquidity building up on the buy side, but we also have liquidity building up on the sell side. So to me, the play would be if we see a purge of the sell side, I could then target the buy side. Or if I see a purge at the buy side, I could then start targeting the sell side. Let's see if we get an opportunity like that right here. All right, so right here, the buy side definitely just got liquidated. We can kind of follow that right here. So we liquidated this significant high. We don't really have a market structure shift here. Now we do sweep some liquidity. We also rebalance. All right, this looks good. We still respect that sell side liquidity as well. So to me, right now, since we violated the buy side right here, we respected the sell side. That to me means that there are probably a lot of people entering longs right here. So to me, it would be very interesting to possibly catch a short from this FEG that we have right here. I'll be using this volume gap as well. And my stop loss is, this is, 2 pips, 2.2 pips. That's okay. Our target could be this right here for around 2R. Since this leg down was just created, this also swept some liquidity. But this would be the closest point where the reserved or the preserved liquidity is still going to be remaining. So for around 1.8R, that would be decent enough. Let's place the sell limit and we get filled right here and boom. Yeah, okay. super quick trade. And yeah, as you can see, guys, this works really, really well. We have actually reached 10.8R. All right, so looking at the analytics, we only, of course, took 5 trades, but we have 100% win rate. Now, 5 trades is definitely not a benchmark that I suggest anyone to take and start trading with. I do encourage my students to reach at least 100 total in order to get a decent baseline. Now, overall, 10% gain in just 3 trading days. So if you would have traded every single silver bullet session right here from this period that the random day generator actually picked, you would have been able to generate around 11% in 3 days, which I know for a fact passes most prop firm challenges with 1% risk, which is really safe. Here are some more statistics that I can quickly show you. I do encourage you to continue backtesting this a little more. Now, I know that these concepts might not be as straightforward for you immediately, and that's why I do encourage you that if you are interested, I do have an elite program running. For now, it is still open, and the spots, they do fill up quite quickly. So if you are interested, make sure to check that out. I will leave a link to that in the description. Also, there is going to be a free Discord server. In this Discord server, a lot of value is being pushed. I will also drop some announcements to discounts. I will give you screenshots and updates. So it's really nice to be in there. A lot of like-minded people. If you're interested in that, I will also leave a link to that in the description. Now, if you like this video and if you appreciate the effort that I put into making these videos, I would really appreciate a like, a subscribe, and maybe even a comment with some feedback, or let me know how your testing results have actually been. I would love to hear from that. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.